All right, hello. We're back again with another summarizing session. This is a study in Scarlet. So chapters 3 and 4. So summarizing session number 2. And not too much text here, so we can maybe do this quickly, but we'll see. There are some actually a lot of interesting points to go through. So let's just get into it. So this one starts with, the messenger comes to Sherlock saying, please come. And Sherlock had figured out what kind of person it was. So, Watson wants to know how Sherlock knew the messenger was a Marine. And so Sherlock says, well, he had a tattoo I could see of an anchor that a sailor would have. He had whiskers and he walked like a military person. So he's older and he's got a tattoo and he just looks like a military person. So it's probably a sergeant, probably a Marine. So, and then Watson is amazed. So, but I don't want to explain all that. I'll say, Sherlock says he could tell by a tattoo, his walk, and his whiskers. I think that's enough for the summary because we want to keep going. Okay, so what's the message? The message is from Detective Gregson to come to Lauriston Gardens, where the body of Enoch Drebber was found. So a body to investigate, and they don't know what to do. I gotta put this all in. Watson says, "Let's go," but Sherlock says maybe he will skip it. So this is this is a good point to explore. So Sherlock's job is to investigate crimes, and murder is, or death is the most, important one. And now he says maybe I won't go. Maybe I won't bother. Why? Because he knows that he will get no credit for figuring it out. So now maybe has been shown before, but Sherlock, he likes to explain how difficult his, how unique and interesting his job is, but he only wants to do it if other people recognize that he's the best, or that he did it and he's better than you and everyone. So John is like, wait, what? You're so reasonable, and this is how you're motivated. So let's put that in there. So John is a little confused because this genius seems to be motivated by praise from others who he knows he knows he is smarter than. Let's say praise from, let's make this even easier, praise from his inferiors. So people lower than him. It's like, why would you even care if you know you're better than them? Why would you care that they know you're good? So that is funny. That because this genius seems to be primarily motivated by praise given by inferiors. I'll say by others. I guess, yeah, can I think of it given by others of lower intelligence. I mean, that is strange. It's almost like if you're a chef, no, I only make food if it's other people tell me it's good, and I know I'm better than them anyway. The other lower chefs say it's good, then I like it. It's like, who cares? Let's see. So, but Sherlock says, "Okay, let's go." Ultimately, Sherlock agrees to go. Okay, so they arrive at the house, which is in Brixton. That's a house at. Yeah, keep these. Maybe it's a good point to keep these names straight, because it's good to remember. Lauriston Gardens in Brixton, which I guess is a neighborhood of London. I didn't even really check. And there are many people waiting, and the roads are muddy from rain. Okay, so now see if I can speed this up. Let's see. Oh, Detective Gregson is relieved to see Sherlock, but oops, Gregson. But gets scolded immediately for letting his staff walk through the walkway so much. He says something like, I guess you have it all figured out. Otherwise, why would you let everyone trample through here like buffaloes? I guess you've got it all worked out, because how could you let this happen? Something like that. Gregson says that he has been so busy inside the house, and that it was Lestrade's job to take care of the outside. So immediately, they have kind of a three-person, I don't know, just a dynamic where Sherlock scolds Gregson. Gregson says, "It wasn't me." Well, it wasn't my fault. It was this other guy's fault. and Sherlock kind of smiles to Watson, saying, "Look at these idiots." Yeah, that is kind of. It's getting kind of funny. Sherlock raises his eyebrow, like, "You see what I mean? See what I have to work with?" They go in the room with the body, which has no furniture and seems generally horrible. So dirty, bad, window is dirty, wallpaper is bad, the plaster is yellow, and there's a dead body there. Let's see, how much do I want to explain here? This is where I have to decide how much to explain. So there's no wound on the body. And Sherlock sniffs its lips, meaning the body. So yeah, what was it? Its and checks the soles of the shoes. After that, he says the body can go to the mortuary. Do I like that? There's no wound. Sniffs. I'll say sniffs the man's lips. Checks the soles of his shoes. As they lift the body, a ring falls out. And Sherlock finds out that finds out the other things that were in his pockets. Oh man, this is getting clumsy. And Sherlock gets a name that was in his pocket as well. So yeah, and we'll say colon. What was it? It was Stangerson. This person worked with Drebber at a steamship company in America, I guess. Sherlock grills Lestrade about what specific questions he phoned about to Cleveland. But he only asked for general information. Anything you got, we'll listen. And Sherlock says, that's it? Like, surely you're going to call again, right? About something more specific that you know about? And Lestrade's like, well, what else? What else am I supposed to do? So again, Sherlock kind of, puts him down. Or maybe it was Gregson. I don't know. They're both the same. Gregson, Lestrade, the same character, just kind of, inferior detectives or just police who Sherlock doesn't respect. Lestrade reveals that he has found a word written on the wall in the darkest corner. And I'll say, colon, Racha. Yep. Sherlock says, oh, that's good, but I haven't been in there yet, so I think I would have found it too. Sherlock says he hasn't checked that room yet, meaning, well, I would have found it too, I think. And goes in. All right. Also, Lestrade says, without a doubt, a certain Rachel will be involved with this case, triumphantly. So then Sherlock measures and inspects everything in the room, but doesn't share what he knows, keeps it secret, doesn't share anything. He just wants to talk to the discovering officer, the person who found the body. And we'll put that again, John Rance. Sherlock and Watson leave, understanding that the killer was a 6 foot, tall guy, 6 foot tall guy, who used poison, came in a cab with a horse with one good or new horseshoe. And they came together. So all kinds of stuff he just knows from his detective skills. Also, a final, let's see. He also says, as a Parthian shot, and that means, that kind of rings a bell. The Parthians were the rivals of the Romans, and I think they were good with, shooting arrows. Some old historical stories where a Roman army was just fighting against Parthians by just unlimited arrows, arrows, arrows. But I actually Googled this, and this comes from the another meaning of parting shot, meaning the goodbye shot. I guess because they could ride their horse and shoot arrows backwards, so as they run away, they could keep shooting, which was a Parthian thing. He says that Rache means revenge in German, so there is no Rachel, which really pops Lestrade's balloon. So he was so happy. He said, "Hey, I'm the one. You got your tricks and clever ideas, but it's just police work and looking in corners and just finding out stuff. That's what solves this case." So Sherlock says, "No, actually, you're dead wrong, and you are stupid to think that." So that's good stuff. Let's make this summary here. So we got to clean this up. So, okay, lots of stuff. Let's see. So we'll say the chapter begins with Watson wanting to know how Sherlock knew the messenger was a Marine. And Sherlock says he could tell by a tattoo, his walking whisker. Yeah, I think even that's kind of too long, but let's just leave it in. The message is from Detective Gregson to requesting Sherlock to come to Lawson Gardens where the body of Ian Driver was found. Yep, we'll keep that. Watson says, "Let's go." Watson, Watson assumes Sherlock has to go. But he says maybe he will skip it because he knows that he will get no credit for figuring it out. Now this is, so we got two characters, Watson, Sherlock, both of them are he, but I'm going to say he says maybe he will skip it. And yeah, you have to know that he is Sherlock because he knows that he'll get no credit for figuring it out. Yeah, all these he. This is all Sherlock. Yep. Now this is, I want to talk about here. John is a little confused because this genius seems to be motivated by praise given by others of lower intelligence. And I'll comment further. This further reinforces Sherlock as an anti-hero, because a traditional hero is motivated by, just justice and friendship and serving the people, or serving the greater good. So Sherlock is, no, I don't care about that. I why bother if no one will even, if I don't get recognized. So we're introduced how, well, that's weird. If you're so smart, shouldn't you use it for this good cause? And Sherlock's like, why would I do that? Well, okay, let's go for fun. Which Sherlock doesn't care about. Doesn't seem to care about. Okay, next paragraph. Ultimately, they go. Okay, and arrive at, we'll say at the house cut at Lauriston Gardens in Brixton, and there are many people waiting, and the roads are muddy from rain. Yeah. Okay, Detective Gregson is relieved to see Sherlock, but cut this comma. But gets scolded immediately for letting his his officers walk through, use the walkway so much. I'll say, yeah, which has maybe destroyed any valuable footprints of the suspect, of the criminal. Gregson says that he has been so busy inside, and that it was Lestrade's job to take care of the outside. I'm going to say, yeah, I guess we'll keep that. Okay. They go in the room. Let's just say they find the body in a room, which has no furniture, seems generally horrible. There's no wound on the body. We can take that out. There's no wound. And Sherlock sniffs the man's lips and checks the soles of his shoes. After that, he says the body can go to the mortuary. Yep. So that's good. We'll make a new paragraph here. As they lift the body, as they lift the body, a ring falls out, and Sherlock gets a name that was in his pocket as well, Stangerson. We'll say who worked with Drebber at a steamship company in America. All right. Sherlock grills Lestrade, so kind of puts him, grill means puts him to the fire, meaning, puts him under pressure about what specific questions he phoned about. Asked about. Well, no, we'll keep that. Phoned about to Cleveland. Does that sound good? What specific questions? How about inquiries he made to Cleveland? Maybe that's better. But he only asked for general information, or I asked for any information that would help. So yeah, kind of, you do my job for me. If you know something, tell it to me. Okay, now we'll have a new paragraph. Suddenly, Lestrade reveals that he has found a word written on the wall in the darkest corner. Raish. Maybe I'll cut the in the darkest corner. We don't need. Sherlock says he hasn't checked that room yet, and goes in. We'll take this out too. Maybe this is not important enough. Lestrade says without a doubt a certain Rachel will be involved in this case. We'll put this triumphantly. Says triumphantly without a doubt a certain Rachel will be involved in this case. Sherlock measures and inspects everything in the room, but doesn't share anything. Doesn't share what he has learned, and just wants to talk to discovering officer John Rance. And next, Sherlock and Watson leave, understanding that the killer was a 6-foot-tall man who used poison, came in a cab with a horse with a new horseshoe, and we'll take that out. You don't have to know everything. Just Sherlock knows. Horseshoe. Is that not right? Horseshoe. All right. Maybe we'll just say shoe. And finally, yeah, now with the last sentence. He also says, as a Parthian shot, how about aka parting shot, that Rache means revenge in German. So there's no Rachel, which really pops Lestrade's balloon. Yeah. Okay, yeah, lots of stuff in there. So, but I guess it all has to go in. So not so many pages, but it's important to keep track. Yeah, this is part of why summarizing is good. It just helps you remember again what was important, what did they do, what did he say, who did it, and maybe you have to go back and read it again. So yeah, but let's do chapter 4. So they talk to John Rance. So put some notes in. Also, I have lots of notes, longer notes, and so I'm even shortening them down to shorter notes, and that gets shortened again to the summary. So it's all about just maybe reading, gathering, and then cutting, making it shorter and shorter. So Sherlock tells John about most of the things he saw at the crime scene. Okay, I'll try to make a list here. Two marks in the curb, done by a four-wheeled cab. A sharp impression by a new horseshoe. Do I want to talk about all these things? Well, okay. I don't think so. I'm gonna make a decision. Nope, we don't need it all. He knows all things in the crime scene. I'll say what he believes. The four-wheeled cab, the 6-foot tall cigar, smoker. He smokes cigars. He knows that. And the two pairs, the two types of shoes, and I'll say parentheses patent leather and square toes. Yeah, I don't want to explain it all. It's just interesting to show how he knows. He just sees everything. All right, let's get to the story. But they still don't know. They still don't know. Who they were, and why one was killed, which is that's the most important thing. So let's get to that. Turns out that Rache is a ruse to distract the police, because the A that was written is not how German people actually write it. So this is he knows it's someone trying hard to seem like a German person or some kind of German element, but it's the A shows this is more of a German student, not an actual German person. I'll say comment. Maybe this level of deception is what makes Sherlock interested in the case, because he's not dealing with a normal crime of anger or passion, but an actually an actually intelligent criminal. a challenge for him. And yeah, I'll go new paragraph. Oh no, this is all one note. Oh. Okay, so from now on I'll make it notes. So Sherlock says he doesn't want to reveal what else he knows because he wants John to be impressed with him later. So he's kind of saving tension for later, saving the climax for later. So this is I'll say comment. It's interesting because we are reading a story about a person who wants his life to unfold like a story too. So it's a story about a person who enjoys the drama and appreciation of his audience as he's doing it. So we are the audience reading the book, and then John is also his main audience member, and also the stupid detective. So it's kind of a story about a person who likes the drama of story. John. Oh, new note. John says, he's already impressed. And Sherlock blushes. Like, what does it say? Blushes? I have the actual quote. Blushes like a girl being told she's beautiful. Blushes. Because, we'll say, he is as sensitive to flattery on the score of his art as any girl could be of her beauty. So that's, I kind of, this is take the quote exactly from the book, but putting it in, nesting it into my own sentence. So yeah, this kind of further underscores how, I'll make a new note. How Sherlock really is hungry for appreciation and, applause from an audience, which is again not really heroic. We wouldn't call that heroic. We'd call that kind of vain or childish, which doesn't seem heroic, but rather vain and superficial. Maybe we'll keep that in. I don't know. Okay, let's see. Okay, finally. Okay, they get to John's house. They get to Night Cop, John Rance's house, who was sleeping in the day. Who was asleep during the day. Who was asleep? I think you know. He's irritated, but warms up when Sherlock whips out a gold sovereign, which I don't even know what that is. It means money. But at the time, they talk about British pounds, English pounds, but what the heck? What's a sovereign? I don't know. I didn't look it up because gold. It means money. I'll pay you to just tell me your job, which is your job already. John says, there was a bar fight, but other than that, it was quiet until he, at about 2 a.m., he walks toward Brixton just to check it out. He sees a house which should be empty because the occupant died of typhoid, an old disease. Which should be, but has a light in the window. Sherlock interrupts him, knowing that he kind of paced around, which surprises John. Interrupts. Is that right? I guess no. There we go. Knowing that he paced around, which surprises him. You can tell also. Oh, so also, yeah. You can tell that John Rance has a different, I don't know, dialect, different accent, because he says he's not afeared or saw, like, he what did he say, saw the light the window. So the writing style is, he's kind of, words are cut, or was not afeared, or oh no, I know one was a walkin' and a talkin', right? So words, letters cut. He was afeared, so we would say like afraid. He was a walkin' and a talkin'. So the writer helps distinguish this is, kind of a, a lower class or lower education type person, a working man, and we're used to Sherlock and Watson's, more, I guess, proper or educated style English. So yeah, that's a important point to in the text. There's a different type of speaking he's using. Oh, let's see. You can tell it different accent because he says he's not afeared and was walking and talking. And I'll say, these suggest he is of a lower class or of lower education. All right. Okay, funny. Okay, now there's another funny part. Oh, already this is so long. Oh my gosh, we got it. Yeah, it's all in there. Another funny point is that as John builds to a, horrifying climax of his job last night, Sherlock stomps all over him. Okay, John says, he says, John builds to my climax of job, horrifying. How about, sight of the body last night? So stomps all over his story, saying, yes, we know what you saw already. So again, it's kind of a Sherlock kind of doesn't seem to want anyone else to have any dramatic tension or kind of a, I don't know, or focus. He's the main character. He wants to be the main character at all times. Yeah, that was really funny. And then he gets angry. So how did you know that? John says, how, is so surprised. Wow, do I need that? Let's just, who cares? Let's just keep going. John says, other cops came and a very drunk man was nearby, who Sherlock suspects was the murderer. They leave telling John that his career will go nowhere because he let the murderer go last night. Ouch. So just FYI, you could have become a sergeant, but no, you didn't even know that that was the murderer. In the cab, Sherlock is now glad that John kind of nudged him toward this case, given it's an interesting exercise or study in murder. Okay, man, yeah, this is so it's only short pages, but so much stuff going on. Let's see, cut this down. So quickly, Sherlock tells John, once he saw the scene. Okay, yeah, I want to cut this all out. Yeah, we don't need all these things, but they still don't know who. They still don't know many things. Yeah, they still don't know, a lot of information. Yeah. Turns out that Roche is a ruse to distract the police because the A is not, cut this out, is not how German it's not how German people actually write it. Maybe this level of deception is what makes Sherlock interested in the case, because he's not dealing with the normal crime of passion. We'll just keep that. But a real diabolical opponent, we'll say, really mastermind level, or just above average maybe. Okay, yep, we're cutting down. Sherlock says he doesn't want to reveal what else he knows because he wants John to be impressed with him later. Well, impressed later. We don't need with him. It's interesting because we're reading a story about a person who wants his life to unfold. I'm gonna keep that in. We're reading a story about a person who wants his life to unfold like a story. Yep. John says he's already impressed, and Sherlock blushes because he is. Yeah. And then, yep, this further underscores how Sherlock really is hungry for appreciation and applause from an audience, which doesn't seem heroic, but rather appears vain and superficial. So, yep, I think getting some analysis stuff in here. They get to Night Cop John Rance's house, who was asleep. We don't need that. Take that out. Who is irritated, but warms up when Sherlock whips out a gold sovereign. John says there was a bar fight. No, we don't need this. John says he saw a house which should have been empty because the occupant died typhoid. The occupant died. We don't care. The occupant died, but had a light in the window. I'm gonna say, yeah, we don't need this either. We don't need this. And then, yeah, you can tell that John Rance has a different accent or dialect, because he says he isn't afeared and was walking and talking. These suggest he has a lower class or lower education, and contrasts with Watson and Sherlock. Okay. Oh my gosh. Another funny point is that as John builds to the horrifying sight of the body, we'll cut this out. Sherlock stomps all over him, saying, yes, we know what you saw already. So that's not, I don't know if that's that's not really an exact quote, but we'll leave it in. Again, Sherlock doesn't seem to want... Sherlock wants to be the main character and doesn't want anyone else to have any dramatic focus. He wants to be the maker. Yeah, okay, yeah. John says other cops came. John says, you know, he whistled for other cops to come. And a very drunk man was nearby who Sherlock suspects was the murderer. They leave, telling Rance that his career will go nowhere because he let the murderer go. Ouch. We'll see that. Ouch. In the cab, Sherlock is now glad that John nudged him toward this case, given it's an interesting exercise or study in murder. Okay, yeah, that's... Man, that is a lot of text in just a few pages. So... But, yeah, so this is a... It's easy-ish to read, but it is hard to decide what is important. Maybe it's hard to decide what's important because it's a mystery. So, and we don't want to miss anything. Anyway, that's long enough. Wow. All right. So we'll see you in the next one, chapter 5 and 6 together. Maybe only one chapter. We'll see. All right. See you next time.